Film another what I eat in a day video, Ryan. We need another what I eat video, Ryan. Ryan, can you show us what you eat in a day? You guys are unrelenting with this. So I think arguably, in fairness, long overdue. Here it is, but I'm going to meet you in the middle, a little compromise. I'm not going to spend the whole day filming, doing the vlog stuff and showing you, oh, here's a random clip of my cat called Whiskers. I don't have a cat, and if I did, I wouldn't bloody call it Whiskers. But like, I hate those videos, to be honest. So let's just do this rapid fire condensed. This is everything I would eat to drop weight on a plant-based diet, a realistic and sustainable 1 to 2 pounds per week while still feeling full and satisfied with this incredible approach to nutrition. Of course, we start the day with the old brekkie, with the breakfast. And frankly, right now, I'm loving the oatmeal. Other things in my rotation are the cereal, the healthy cereal bowls and the tofu scramble. But right now, loving the oatmeal. So we do the rolled oats cooked in almond milk or water. Got a load of blueberries here. I always mix up the fruit, but I love my berries. Low calorie densities are amazing from a weight loss perspective. Got a bunch of bloobs, bunch of sliced strawberries here, as you will see. Also then this stuff here, a lot of people think, oh, that's maca powder. No, it's just a bit of ground cinnamon. Love ground cinnamon. In terms of other flavorings, I usually use stevia because 0 calories. If I was just in maintenance mode, perhaps, not too worried about my weight, maybe I'd enjoy a little bit more of the old maple syrup. Hemp seeds, of course, for the healthy fats, the omegas I like there, but I also like chia, flax, walnuts. I tend to rotate those things, but loving the hemp seeds right now. For a protein boost, because I know people are really worried about that these days, you could obviously also mix in a plant protein powder if you wanted to here, maybe throw in a little bit of soy yogurt. Make sure instead of almond milk, maybe you're using soy milk and just rack up those protein totals nicely. And this is a really good breakfast for me that lasts me maybe 4 to 5 hours in terms of fullness, which for me, is actually quite excellent. So fantastic way to start the day. Meal number 2 is lunch. I follow a typical 3-meal plus snack structure, and you better believe we're going to talk about snacks very shortly as well. But an interesting prerequisite for me with both breakfast, being the oatmeal, of course, and lunch, is speed. I want to get this stuff out the door. Lunch I usually take with me on the go. Dinner I can be a little bit more elaborate with, but it's all about fast, convenience, practicality at breakfast and lunch for me. And so I love something like this. This is my smashed chickpea wrap. We just take chickpeas, mash them up with a fork, a little bit, controlled amount of tahini, because again, calorie rich, weight loss is the goal, but we still want some healthy fats in there. So we use a controlled amount of tahini. We're not glugging on tablespoons and tablespoons. A little bit of Dijon mustard in there as well. A little bit of garlic powder I used to get today. Sprinkling of salt, of course. Mash that all up into a delicious mixture there. Celery, sometimes I will throw in just some chopped celery in this. Not today though. And of course, you're not going to make this out so easily, but we've got red bell pepper in there, a little bit of lettuce. We just wrap that up in a nice whole wheat wrap, and then I usually like to do a little bit of fruit on the side. So we've got our kiwi. Yes, I am a skin on kiwi guy here. Love that. And yeah, great lunch. Speed, again, filling, satisfying, high fiber, a little bit of the old plant protein, of course, nothing crazy, some healthy fats, carbohydrate, balance, right? We are not fearing fat or carbohydrates. We're not ostracizing 1 or 2 of those things in order to get the scale moving. We want everything. We want carbs, protein, fat. Of course, we want the micronutrients too. Those are just the macronutrients, but high fiber, a little bit of fruit as well for that sweet kick. This is how I still stay satisfied whilst dropping weight. Snacky times then. What have we got going today? So snacks, my policy when I'm in a weight loss phase is 1 to 2 snacks per day. I try to cap it. Unless it's an extremely high output day, then maybe I'll give myself permission at night to perhaps do a third based on intuition there. But generally speaking, I like this kind of ground rule of 1 to 2 snacks per day and cap those snacks at around 100 to 120 calories, just to box myself in a little bit so I don't get too carried away. Now, what I like is the high volume, low calorie stuff. This is probably a theme so far that you're observing here. So I don't tend to snack on nut butter on toast, as delicious as that can be, dark chocolate even I stay away from because I could just go through that stuff. You know, the easy to graze stuff, like healthy stuff, so like nuts and seeds and trail mix and dried fruit, medjool dates. I love dried mango as well, especially prior to workouts. Dried mango, amazing. But this stuff is really calorie dense and it's easy to just keep picking at. So I like these low calorie density snacks for around 100, 120 calories, as I say. We're doing a little bit of the old protein powder here today, not that I'm overtly worried about protein here. So this is my chalky plant protein powder. This is not because I don't live in a place where it's accessible or easily accessible, but I highly recommend the Sun Warrior range, albeit this one isn't. But a little bit of plant protein powder here and an apple. What I'll do is I'll divide the snacks. I prefer to have smaller snacks throughout the day, those 1 to 2, versus one big snack. 1 to 2 per day versus what, but you catch my drift. If I'm going to have 2 snacks per day is my meaning, I'd prefer to split them up to just sort of top me up, let's say very tactically between meals. I never want to overfill. This is a secret hack for weight loss as well. Like, I never want to be too full. I'd rather spare calories is the attitude for later on in the day, which some people say, oh goodness, that's so, over the top, that's so strict. Yeah, but we want results, man. We want results. And so if I only get a finite amount of calories to eat every single day to get that scale moving, I want to distribute the satisfaction I experience over the course of the day nicely so I'm not hitting those crazy hunger weak spots. So that's why I am quite pedantic about how I distribute the food in my day rather than just fill. Oh, now I'm stuffed. And like kind of this up and down yo-yo cycle of like being starving and then overfeeding. Don't like it. I want to distribute the satisfaction. And lastly, of course, the old din-dins. Look no further. This evening, it's 11 a.m. But what's the plan? On the cards this evening is the Slim and Sustain Big Bowl. All of this color, all of this nutrient diversity, all of this volume for under 600 calories. Ladies and gents, this is my cheat code for plant-based weight loss. I'm going to walk you through every component of it in just a second. One thing though I'd like to point out initially, this does look, doesn't it, I think a little bit more elaborate and complex, a little bit more work than the aforementioned. That is for good reason. I come home at 7 to 8 p.m. Yes, maybe I'm a little bit tired, but I am more inclined to put my time in to ensure that I'm making something I really enjoy, feel satisfied with. Speed isn't the objective like the other 2 meals. Why? Because perhaps like yourself, I know the evenings is when I'm most tempted. Those food noises, the cravings, they're most likely to come for me late on in the day. So it's absolutely crucial that that last meal really hits the spot for me. And certainly I don't want to be waking up at 3 a.m. absolutely ravenous either. First component is the legume. I vary this up. That's what I love about this bowl is it looks a little bit different every day. But today we've gone for tofu, but alternatively I'll do beans, lentils, maybe tempeh. Our carbohydrate source, I should say primary carbohydrate source here is always a grain or potato. Today I've gone for millet, but I often love sweet potato here. I often like, what else? Brown rice, quinoa, bulgur wheat, actually one of my favorite that I've been doing loads at the moment. And of course we've got our healthy fats here. You'll see the avocado. Now some people are cautious, and rightly so, about the healthy fats when it comes to losing weight, because they are very calorific. But you'll notice that we've got avocado here. In breakfast we had the hemp seeds, I'll remind you. In the chickpea smash wrap we had tahini, of course. So there are healthy fats littered about all of my meals. What's the difference here and why am I so confident and comfortable eating these? Well, it's a really measured amount. This is just half an avocado, approximately 90 to 120 calories, and I've accounted for it. Breakfast was just over, or it was roughly a heaped tablespoon of hemp seeds, and I've accounted for it. I was cautious, as I said, with lathering on the tahini in the chickpea wrap. And so, yes, we have the healthy fats, but they are measured, they are controlled. So what I love about this, we're just talking about macronutrients so far, but the balance, we've got the protein source, we've got the carb source, we've got the fiber. There is no crazy restriction here in terms of the macronutrients. Never mind that, what about all the diversity in terms of minerals and vitamins and micronutrients? And of course, the fiber, which I could point to virtually every component of this meal. Fiber, so important for keeping me full and satisfied. Again, this is so important at night when I've got to go all of that time until breakfast the next day without eating again, or so of course is the aim. Now, here's the real cheat code though. Yes, these are good components I've walked you through so far. The rest of the dishes you'll see is made up of the non-starchy veg, and this is where we add lots of bulk, lots of volume, lots of chew factor for very few calories comparatively. So we've got our cherry tomatoes, very self-explanatory frankly. You might not see this one though. This is a bed of rocket underneath all of this. Got some sliced red bell pepper here. Some broccoli as well, which I just do in the oven at the same time as my tofu. Really simple with a squeeze of lemon juice and a pinch of salt. And of course, I like to have fermented veggies every day if I can, if I remember. So a little bit of sauerkraut here too. And what I do in terms of seasonings, there's a bit of oregano in the millet. I sprinkle on, I think I mentioned, a little bit of salt. And I'll often do either a layer of balsamic vinegar on this, squeeze of lemon juice, a little bit of hot sauce. You can do more luxurious, let's say, dressings based with, cashew nuts and tahini and so on. But again, you're racking up the calories there. If you account for it, it's no problem. For me, I like to do it like this. I like to have the healthy fats, the avocado in the meal itself, and then I like the dressing to actually be low calorie. You can do it perhaps the other way around. And this is it for me. So all of this volume, all of this fullness, all of this balance with the nutrients, such a satisfying meal that lasts me until the next day for under 600 calories. The Slim and Sustain Big Bowl, that is the cheat code. Right, that's it, folks. I hope this gave you some tasty but still realistic plant-based meal ideas.